Nicole?
I
Well,
got you, friend.
visibility is
No
only half
worries.
the equation. Getting attention is back end conversion.
All right.
You know how
Well,
to
it
get on
looks like
stages,
Zoom does not
communicate.
want to share, but welcome anyway. We'll get right into it, folks. It looks like that Zoom does not want to share anything today, but I'm glad you're here and let's get to it. So we'll just get on the way and I'm going to introduce everybody here. We are going to have a bit of a round robin and make sure that everything is working. It looks like we are kind of going live here. So there we are. We are going live and welcome, 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 folks, down to the plot twist a gathering. We are having a speaker connection. We're going to have a bit of a speaker panel Q&A. I love this. This is so great. My ability to share my passion. I love this. That's why I created the stage that I did. The passion, the purpose. And hey, technology, agree or not, here we are in this wonderful spot. And I'm so glad that you're here. So, why are we here today? Because somewhere out there right now, there's a story, there's a manuscript, a message that could literally have changed someone's life or is about to change someone's life. And that's a total crime to me. I want to hear your story. You see, writing the book, that's just the beginning. The real plot twist is when those words speak up and get on the page. Absolutely. Right. And because a book is nobody hears about it. It's the best kept secret, right? You don't want to be the best kept secret in your industry. It's just a really expensive journal in the end. And creating this space because I totally believe authors, speakers, and people who champion the publishers, the marketers, the visibility experts deserve to be in the same room and have real conversations, not perfectly polished pitches. We want to be real, raw, and relevant and stand out against that evil AI. Just kidding. It's a great tool. This is really about the connection. It's about referrals you can actually trust. And because, people most of all, they want to hear with you. They want to use this as a marketing machine. You put your book out there and everybody needs to hear from you and they need to hear about you. And the stage is your presence. It's the documentary that's coming right now. So use your voice and really get those moments of breakthroughs. And we have such a great and phenomenal group of speakers here today. And I just want to thank everybody and thank our sponsors. You guys will see all the information in the chat. Come in the Zoom room. We want to have you here. It's your chance to do some Q&A, have some questions, be present, and share a connection, share your email, share your contact information, because we want to connect. We want to engage. We are in a trust recession, right? And trust has gone downhill. We want to build it back up. So come in the room, get on the camera, and have a conversation. So we'll get ready to go around the room and show everybody what it's all about. So let me get my questions up here, and I'm just going to go around the room. Love you guys. Absolutely. Look at that. So I'll get those questions up and let me bring the first guest here. And I want to bring Mary. And of course, Mary's the first one that showed up. So I'll just kind of go from there. If I can get my screen to participate a little bit. Looks like it wants to go on take a break and have a vacation. So let me bring Mary up here. Love it very much. All right. So there you are, friend. Let me add the spotlight here. So, you know, Mary, you've been writing for a moment and you publish. So for a writing journey when you first started, take us back a little bit about what was the actual moment you said, "Hey, I'm writing the book." Was it a divine inspiration or was it totally a full breakdown? I want to hear kind of that little juicy detail of the story of what made you finally push and write the book and then share with a group of people.
That's a great question because I started writing from when I was a kid. I absolutely loved writing, and I have actually 2 degrees in English, so I brought it through college. But I didn't write my first book until 2009, 2010, and I was a gymnast for a really long time, and I had a different experience than most of my college teammates who had a very oppressive experience. And I was fortunate enough to have coaches who believed in me, who were on my side, who were on my team. And as a gymnastics coach, I brought that into my own gym. And I wanted to teach parents and coaches and gymnasts that it didn't have to be the traditional gymnastics culture and that it could be a happy experience. And so I thought that the best way I could share that beyond my four walls in my gym was to write a series of gymnastics books. And so that's what got me started. And really, I became a publisher as a result of that because I wanted my message to get out, and I didn't want to waste my time shopping it around to publishers who would judge it according to, is this going to sell for us? I wanted to bring my message out to the world. So as I always tell my clients, I big fat did it, right? I went out and I just decided to figure out how to be a publisher, how to typeset, how to do those things. And I did, and this is 15 years later, and I'm still doing it. And now I'm helping um, authors not only craft their books, whether it's an ebook or a full-blown paperback hardcover book, but I'm also helping them promote their books because, like you said, the message doesn't stop when the book is published. It continues and it blossoms and it moves forward. And so we're here to help people do that.
I love that. Thank you. Yes, we are here to help. And you did it yourself. You were like, "Hey, I'm not sure about this process. Let me do this myself." You did it for yourself and now it's a business. You could do this for someone else. And that's what creates more of that business for us. And that's how we grow and we differentiate ourselves as real humans against the machine, even though if we are using the machine for a little bit of fun. So let me bring up Alicia. I'm going to bring you up. I want to ask you this next question because you're writing right now, and we've had several wonderful conversations. What was that warning that nobody gave you about that writing process? Because sometimes it's a journey you have to take for yourself, and that you had questioning every choice that you ever made, but helped you just go forward. What was that warning? Maybe even the one you gave yourself.
Maybe I'm hoping you can hear me. I would say perhaps duration of writing. I, like Mary, started writing when I was small. My mom and I lived in the state of Rhode Island, and my family, extended family, lived in New York. So when my mom brought us to visit my grandma, her mom, we were allowed to sit in the living room, and they would talk in the kitchen, mother and daughter, grandmother and mother. And so how I kept busy, I would write stories. And writing my stories allowed me to imagine, to play in a way that I wouldn't disturb them, but I could have fun on my own. So I'm used to writing stories that capture the imagination. And at this stage of my writing, I'm a Christian. I'm a believer since the age of 7 years old. Now I'm in my 50s. So I write true stories based on the Bible. And so right now I am participating in the Economy Creators Anthology, and my story is excuse me, faith, vision, and organizational excellence, which is my platform for my business.
I love that. I love that. And it's a special journey just for you. And we all go through a little bit of and a choice of am I writing this for real? Am I doing the thing? Oh, kind of gets a little bit scary in a moment. And the crazy stuff that we tell ourselves in our head that nobody really is worried about at all, right? Does anybody really worry about it? Do they really care? But we know that they do because they're here in the room. So I want to bring Carrie up. So Carrie, For you, for the journey on writing your book, versus the the one you started with versus the finished version or the edited version if you're in the process right now. What happened in the in between that got you to shift to that final message that you're sharing now?
Well, hi, Nicole. I'm not a published author of a book yet. I'm writing the book of my life. But I think, along the way, there's a lot of things that you can do for any author to help you with your book journey. I specialize in tech and AI. So there's a lot of uses for helping you ideate, helping you do research, helping you get over your writer's block using a lot of the AI tools that we have today. That's I think that's where I'll start it. Do you have any follow-up questions, Nicole?
Yeah, I love that. Let's get into that a little bit because you have support. And this is not about just about writers, it's about support systems for that. And you have done, when we're writing and when we're utilizing tools and when we're sharing that with authors, what are you looking at with your tools in that publication support part of it? Because what would you like to share the message right now? We're here live. What's that message you want to share with people that we're here to support? There's some really cool tech tools that can support you in your journey, maybe not write everything for you, but there's a way you could still stand out and shine and stay in your uniqueness with some type of the tools that you have, Carrie.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that I'm an avid reader. There are a lot of authors that I speak to. I think a common struggle is the amount of time it takes from start to end to get a book out there, right? I've heard anything from 10 years from authors to go from the idea to the final published book. And I think there are just so many tools out there with tech and AI that can help you speed that cycle up. You can do a lot of your research on, your characters, on your plot to make it more realistic using the AI tools that we have today. You can use AI to help you write during the hard times when you're struggling with writer's block, or even right now when I'm writing my email, sometimes I think I don't really want to write this, but then I have AI write a rough draft for me, right? And then I just go and edit it a little bit. I think that helps with the process so much more. And I would say for all of you authors out there wanting to lean into these tools, it's really important to personalize your AI so that it sounds like you, it knows your voice, it knows more about you and what you want to say to the world, right? Everybody's AI comes out of the box the same, but it's up to you to really personalize that. And I'm definitely happy to work and help with anybody wanting to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that because we are in a place of tech that we can have this, right? We're in that moving away from the horse and buggy kind of carriage. You could still go ride it at the park and have some fun with it, but you want to embrace some of these tools and make life easier because you're going to get left behind. Don't get left behind. You're an entrepreneur. We want to see you use the tools that are out there for you, and how can we integrate them into our life moving forward to make our lives easier so we can do those tasks that we want to do. You're task oriented. We say that we're multitasking. I think we are multifunctioning, and this helps us do that so we can get back to maybe that task at hand that's really important. I want to bring Lil up. So Lil, I want to bring you up here because also publishing support. What can you do to share with people when they're talking about that? You're a ghostwriter, and for those people who don't know, and you've been at this game for a while. What changes right now? Is it is how do people keep their voice when if they're not using tech, they're using someone like yourself, your services ghostwriting. Are you keeping their unique voice? Are they handing everything over to you? How does that work?
Well, first, if 90% of the time, yes, what we're doing is interviewing them. So we are talking to them, we are recording them, we use Otter AI and then pull what they've said and kind of reiterate. But we've had people who have particular accents, who have particular ways of speaking. They're from New York. They have expressions. I had one older woman who was from Philly, and man, we really had to like dig in on it sounding like her because it was her story. So a ghostwriter tries to really get that person's tonality, the way they speak, the way they think, and it's a skill. It's what we learn. I I don't really like the idea of using AI for that sort of thing. I don't think it can capture who you are. It's fine for doing a book outline. We just did one on titles today, and it came up with some great ideas for titles. That's terrific. But write your own book or have someone write it with you or coach you. And if even if you're not a great writer, there are people who can help you craft what you're saying in a more cohesive manner. And that's what we do. And I don't know if you had questions about publishing as well, but I hope that kind of answers that part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great. I mean, even more into that publishing part of that, if you want to elaborate more on that, because you're such the expert in this and you share some different ideas and you share a lot of the truth instead of the selling. When somebody's doing this and they're going through that portion of the publishing, what say you about the time for marketing? Do you need to get on the stage? Should you use some AI or tech tools to even just getting in a Zoom room? What does that journey look like? Like, hey, you didn't just write the book or hire somebody and put shell some money out there, but you want to continue this journey and share that message.
Sure. Well, first off, you have to decide what kind of publishing you're looking for, right? A traditional publishing is very difficult unless you're very famous and you have a lot of following. You could promise them 10,000 books are going to be sold near to immediately. That's what they're looking for. And that's understandable. They're going to put money out. They want you to be able to provide them that. Hybrid publishing, typically, I hate to say, costs about as much as we charge for publishing services. And then those people are going to have control of your book and you are not. They will, if you want to buy a book, you've got to buy it through them. If you want to know how many what you made in royalties, you've got to ask them. And typically they'll upcharge you for books. So if your book's going to cost $5, they'll typically charge you anywhere from 6 to 10. And you can't do that without them. So that's fine if they do a lot of marketing for you. If they don't do a lot of marketing for you, well, that's silly. You might as well do it yourself. But it's really a matter of what you want your book to do. We try to get your book cover, at least the front cover, done a good month in advance so that you can start putting that out there, that you can show it. Hey, my book's coming out. We do cool promotional graphics. So you can say at least a month. And more importantly, I think than that is getting your team together. You want to get 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people who are willing to say, when this book comes out, I'm going to tell everybody I know about it. I'm going to do that thing to make people know about your book, and I'm going to review it because Robbie will tell you. Robbie Samuels, I don't think is here today, but Robbie will tell you that you want 100 reviews if you can get them, and it's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to ask people to do those things, but I don't know technology wise how that would help. Other than get on Zooms, get on Facebook Lives, get on LinkedIn, and do little videos about your book and show the book cover and say, "I'm so excited. My book is about sports medicine or it's about technology, whatever it is." Get people excited. Get people excited about your book long before it comes out, if you can, as long as possible. So the earlier you start working with your publishing team, the earlier you can start getting the word out that you're going to have this happen. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I love that because I share with people how to use that content, turn it into workshops, master classes, stages. We're here today on a stage. Simple tip for today. Grab the mic, get in the room, and you can ask the questions, be part of it, connect with each other. I do urge you guys to connect in the chat. Olga, I'm going to come to you in just a sec, and I've got a question for you. And I want to say,
So
Alicia,
I
yeah,
gotta stop you for a second. I thought this was at 1, and I'm supposed to be on a Zoom right now with a client.
go ahead.
I'll be back if that's okay. How long are
No
you gonna be
worries.
here?
We're
Are you
going to
gonna
be
be
here for a couple hours, so come
I'll be
back in.
back in a
I
few
love
I'll
you.
be back in a short time. Thank you.
All right, no worries, you guys. And if you're on LinkedIn, you can come into the Zoom room. I'll share that connection or just connect with people here. I do want to address, there's some people in the chat I see on Raystream. It says, Aid, Andrea Randall, Alicia is here to support you. I want to give her a shout out. She's super supportive of here in the chat. right now. And we got some comments in here. You're not the bot. You are that human. So let me get to Olga. I love that. Look at that. There's that support, you guys. I do encourage you, connect in the chat. Share your LinkedIn. You guys connect. If you're on Facebook, connect on Facebook, wherever your stomping ground is. Where's that at? Just get in there and connect. Reach out, comment, like, subscribe, and join here today. You can get in the Zoom room when, like Kimberly Crow says, where all the magic and the fun happens. I love this. So for you, Olga, on writing, be honest, was that moment you almost threw that whole manuscript away? I mean, you're talking about real, true life moments. Did you feel like you wanted to just put it in the trash and didn't want to take it out and share it? Or maybe you edited a lot or put your book script to the side? Or did you go immediately into writing and you stuck with that story the whole time?
Well, thank you so much, Nicole. I would never put my book to trash. No, that was not me. But what's happened actually, how I actually started to write the book, because at the COVID, my gallery, I had the two galleries, art galleries, they were closed, and I lost it. I just felt like I'm in depression because I did not know what to do with my life. But creativity always saved me. And I started to dig into my childhood. And I literally, I cry my eyes out, but I created a memoir, and that story of my ups and downs, how I got into a theater, for example, because I'm from Russia myself. I came here in 91. But before that, I was a professional actress on a stage. And all these stories, how I overcame that story in this one. So I put it to book with the hope that somebody would take that story and say, hey, what's my excuse? If this woman came to the country with a son and a mother, with no word of English, and she started from the scratch, cleaning a McDonald's table and then running a pizza parlor, what's my excuse not to make in America? Because then I started to paint, and my house became like a gallery, and nobody wanted to take my art. I said, you know what? Nobody wanted to take my art. I'm in America. I live American dream. What's the heck with everybody? I'm opening my own gallery. And I opened my own gallery, 2008, first gallery, 2011, second gallery. Then I opened a studio because people came to me. They said, teach me that freedom of painting. And that story I put to the book after the COVID changed probably 90% of lives of global population. And we started to look at what we have today in a different eyes, because we did not cherish the freedom. But when it was taken from us, it was a different value. So because I actually came from a country that we didn't have a freedom, I always followed the freedom, and I came to America for freedom. But people who lived here, they had a taste how to live without freedom. And I hope people reevaluate their attitude towards that most important human right, to be free. And so that's my book, From Russia to America. I published it last year in my birthday, July 9th, 2025. That's going to be my anniversary next month. And when I was writing the book, you're probably going to ask me if I used AI. Yes, I did. Maybe for structure, because I did not know how to. But I had to have some kind of platform to pour my emotions, to express myself. And so that's why what I'm telling to everybody can write, everybody can paint, everybody can sing to a different degree. Guys, this is human quality. Everybody can express. Let's say if you have no tongue, You can sing, you can dance, you can express yourself. You know what I mean? If you get to the island with nobody speak, you can paint something and express your desire. This is a human communication. Don't put a label on it that you have to be so good. And if you're not so good, you stop yourself. And that's my message to you. Everybody is very talented. You just put your own lead on your own capacity. So let it shine, because we came here as a humans, and as a humans, we have a human right to be happy. As a matter of fact, Aristotle said that only reason for human and the people existence and the purpose of it, it's a joy and fulfillment. And that's what I'm talking now. I'm a speaker and I'm a coach, but I am bringing that idea that our goal, ultimate goal, is to be happy, And whatever is bring to that destination, we should use it and make hundreds of mistakes, hundreds of hiccups. Doesn't matter, because it's a part of success. And AI will never replace our humanity. By the way, speaking of AI wants to be a human. Do you know that? When I spoke to Claude, because that's my program. Because I have a program how to thrive in an era of AI and not to lose your humanity. This is my speech to the audience. But what I'm saying is, when I asked Claude about some kind of terms, and he said, by the way, do you know what AI trying to be? I said, what? AI trying to be a human. It means they learning our behavior. They collecting data of human, how we think and so on. But
you've got to use that. You got to use that data for good. So we got to take
exactly.
that back.
But he said, you are original. You don't need to fight with AI. You don't need to overcome or fear the AI. You have to bring up your human, quality, and that's how you win. Not to fear it, but be happy with who you are. And I'm teaching that transition from fear to thriving in AI era.
Yes, I love that. I love your energy. And people come back on the 18th for Olga to hear more of this passionate, what she's sharing in her story. Thank you so much. I love the passion. You're just about at a year of your book. How amazing is that? I want to bring Colleen Stubbs up here because I've got a question for her that I saved just special because I know she's going to just have no challenge with this, because you're going to be able to share the truth on this funness. When you're writing a book, and we're both in the anthology right now, because I know I went through it, and I would think everybody else went through it, that's real and an emotional being and not AI. When writing that chapter, was there ugly crying, or did you, were you staring at the ceiling like, I've got to put something in here? How do I say this? Or eating snacks and you're just like, this is really good? Or did you promise yourself that, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get right to this and focus. What were those challenges for you?
Do you want me to keep it real?
Yeah, of course. That's the point.
Okay, so I feel like my story is actually quite private, and I'm a very private person. I do have a very bubbly personality, but I'm a very private person. And so for me to articulate my story is a huge feat. And so I cannot do that alone. What I did was reach out to Miss Mary and had her conduct an interview so that we could come up with an outline. And reaching out to her, not only is it a safe place to unpack, if you will. And I think as entrepreneurs, we're number one looking for that safe place where it's somebody that can say, okay, we're going to leave this out, too much detail. This is great. Really help you dive into the parts that they know need exemplified and expounded on. And so just having those conversations, that was actually multiple conversations I got to have with Mary to help draw that outline out together. And I think that that's like peeling off the Band-Aid, if you will, right? Like, but you're doing it in a safe way. So she's helping to soak it and all those things and get it off with the least pain as possible. And then when you look at your story and you go back, you're like, okay, that wasn't so bad. I can dive into this a little bit more now. Now I can open up a little bit more about that. Okay, in this part, she says I don't need to talk about, so let's leave that out. Thank goodness for that part, right? So I think for me, that's what it was. It wasn't, and I needed that to really be nailed like jello to the wall, because some things I just like to be very private about. But you know, I think that when you're sharing a story, as Olga was saying, it's your heart. We're all humans, and there's a lot to unpack and a lot to share, and it needs to be done in the correct way. So that was very helpful to me. No chips involved, no snacking involved, and we didn't cry, I don't think, maybe a little bit. So
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, keeping it real, that's just the best part of this is you can keep it real and tell your story in a way where you can still have some privacy and keep some sanity, but you get your story out so nobody else is sharing it. Hey, I heard this, or hey, I met this person. You're like, nope, I'm telling the story first. And hey, guys, note to self, if you're using social media, that's the way to get ahead of the game. If you don't want people to find out, give them some disclosure and in as much as you're comfortable with. You don't have to tell them about everything, what you're wearing, what size your bra is, if you're wearing one or not. You don't have to do all that. You just have to get ahead of the game and share the story in a way that you can keep it professional and stay as an entrepreneur and still run your business. And that's why it's so great to use the mic as a leverage tool for marketing, because this is how you get the story out and you get to tell them. How many people are out there right now saying, hey, I'm supporting this person, or I'm caring for this person, or I want to speak up for this, whatever group of people it is today, one-eyed purple people eaters, whatever your group is that you think you're speaking for. If you tell your story, they know the truth, and they know honestly who to look for, and they look for you as an expert instead of going outside of who they want to be. Let me bring in, oh my gosh, we had some great people that are joining us right now. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Beth Ann. Hello, hello. We've got LA, Sarah Fernandez. We got some great people in the room, and I'm going to bring Agape up here. So I've got a question for you, my friend. Of course, I'm so glad to see you. I think it's early in the morning on your West Coast area. So Agape, how did writing books? You've written a few of them, and I'm always like, yeah, whatever. That's for me. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not ready to tell my story. I don't really want to share it. I want to support other people in it. For you, when you started to write and when you continue to share the story, you know, how did that book change you? Not the readers, but you. It had to benefit you in your journey, because you see, do you see yourself in a different light now that you've had that connection?
Ah, these loaded questions of yours. No.
Yeah, because they're not on a call with you. I know how you are in real life.
Yeah. Ah, so well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate being here, and thank you for everyone else too. So for me, I would have to say that right now I'm working on my solo book, and it is harder than any of the other books that I co-authored in. I co-authored in 5 other books, and each one, of course, makes me, go back and relive certain traumas and circumstances, decisions in life. And because they were all different, I got to just focus on an area, a chapter, no pun intended, right? But like each decade of life is a chapter. And so looking at that, I was able to see my own personal growth. And I talk about post-traumatic growth all the time, as much as I possibly can. And it's interesting not only to see the different times in life that post-traumatic growth was happening, but I didn't even recognize it or know what it was at the time. And watching how it has put me to where I am today, which is, serving the community. I am, like Colleen mentioned, private. I mean, like, I'm private to a degree that people don't even understand. You will never catch me with my location and my Bluetooth on at the same time. I keep my interior lights off when my car doors open. I mean, like, I have like layers and layers and layers of privacy. And, for me, that was my safety. And so, you know, being being in a space where you cannot identify or feel your own worth for almost an entire lifetime until you're like faced with potential death. I don't feel like everybody should have to get to that extreme. And for me, I realized that that's what it was. I did not know or feel my own self-worth, but the moments plural, that my life was spared, I knew that it was not me that was sparing my life. It was my creator. So if my creator felt that I was worth saving, then that worth alone supersedes mine by so much and so far that I just know my purpose and I know why I'm here. And that is how these multiple books has changed me as a person, and how I'm able to have the strength and stamina to, confront domestic violence and help real-time survivors in their moments of crisis and be a part of changing, their future, their children's futures. And it's not just me by myself. Yes, it was my idea that, came to me when I was asking why my life was being spared, but it is the team, the support, the volunteers, the board members, the interns, and the community that helps serve the community. And so the books and this current one has definitely, shown me the real journey of post-traumatic growth. And I am just so happy and so pain-free and in total bliss when I am in that space of serving.
I love that because you can still change, you can still serve, but people have a different connection to you, and that's real and that's raw, and you've shared that with me and so many other people, and it's marketing, but it's sharing in a way that people can really grasp that story and understand. And what I love with what you do is you're not triggered telling that story. This gives people the ability to find connection with you, and you're open to, hey, this is where you can find me, this is where I'm at, this is where we'll be in that next event, right? And share in the chat, as we move on to the other speaker panel, share in the chat about the golf event. Definitely. We've got that live event. There are still live events out there. We just went to an amazing event in Orlando, and I want to come circle around to Mary as I find her on my screen here, and Zoom's playing a little twister here of where are you for people going into publication on that day. Shouldn't they be celebrating, or do you find that some of them, I think in our conversations, we've kind of established that they're hiding under the covers, waiting for maybe that Amazon ranking? So what does publication day look typically like, people, but what advice would you give them that this is actually the reality, don't worry about it?
Yeah, well, publication day it's a culmination of so many months and or years. As some people have mentioned, it takes 10 years to write a book sometimes for some people. Publication day is exciting because it it's the day that you just kind of put yourself out into the world, and we always hope that someone's listening or someone's buying or someone wants to know about us, right? But at the same time, I have published on my own, and I have published as a part of a mastermind co-authored book. And frankly, it's beautiful when we get to share it with other people. And so Lil was mentioning the fact that we want to create a launch team around ourselves as we're publishing our book. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. because we want to experience it with other people. It is scary, so you might want to hide under a sheet, like Nicole was saying, but at the same time, the more that we can share our experience with other people, the better. And here's the thing, we're writing this book to share our message with other people. So as we're building up into this publishing moment on publication day, on launch day, gather your friends around you. Make a team, make a launch team. They want to see you succeed too. And so the biggest thing is don't isolate yourself and build up to publication day so that it's just another day to celebrate, because we really want, with the Economy Creators Anthology that a few of our co-authors have mentioned, is we are rallying the troops, as we say, throughout this entire year. We're going on the radio and we're sharing our messages. We're sharing each other's messages. We're getting connected on mastermind calls, and we're sharing this experience together. And so the idea behind it is, as we build throughout this year, publication day will be a celebration. But so many times for so many authors, it's just this nerve-wracking thing where we're biting our fingernails in the background. So build a team around you, help others help you. And that really starts with the author. And you have to be willing. If you're willing to put your name on a cover of a book, then you need to be willing to speak your message as well. And that's part of what we do too, right, Nicole?
Absolutely, and I love that because you did share your information here, and I can just reshare it, unless you want to go ahead and put some, I think you maybe have in LinkedIn in the chat as well. But you do such an extraordinary job of bringing a community together. People talk about it, but you live it. It's your life breath, right? If we're connecting and we're truly collaborating, we have to build those relationships together. That's what we're doing here today. Connect with each other in here today. Save the information, connect with people in the chat. And you do that so well with your mastery. I'm going to bring in, so Beth Ann has a question. And is your question pertain to Mary, Beth Ann? And I'll bring you up right now before we
For
move on.
Mary.
Yeah, let me bring you up since we got Mary up here. And then we can go on to the next speaker. I'll go on to Carrie next.
Hi, Beth Ann.
Hi. I wanted to know, because I'm about to be in a caregiver book and I'm in UK and I'm an English author, so I'm going to be with Americans. So like thinking about marketing, I love what you said, but where did you find that the best with your marketing was? Was it on YouTube? Was it on, what platforms did you find the best? Because I want to be like, so that I've got a mixture of people. I'm here with Americans now, but I'm also European, so that I'm marketing to both sides.
Right. Well, and this is interesting too, because Beth Ann, I'm working with a couple of authors right now. One is based in America, but she's writing a book about Wales and about Ireland. And so
Ooh.
her
I'm in
book
Wales.
spans like yours, right? And then I have another gentleman who is from Scotland. So he is actually marketing all over the world as well. And so what happens is that it depends on the type of book you're writing. It depends on your audience. And one of the things that I started doing, which I absolutely love to do, is create a little think tank around your ideal clients or ideal readers, I'm sorry, and ask them where they want to see you. What do they want to learn as background for your book? What is it that they're seeking from you? Because it's not just the message in your book, it's more. And we can't write everything. We'd be writing an entire encyclopedia, especially if you're a co-author. You can't write everything in that chapter. So ask the people who are reading your book or reading your chapter, what more do you want to know from me as I'm highlighting this book, as I'm sharing this chapter? what do you want to know? Do you want to know the backstory? Do you want to know the concept behind why I'm sharing my message? There's so many different things about your message that you can highlight and share. And so one of the things that I have come to find, I'm also a radio show host on KFred Radio. And one of the things, I was talking to a gentleman yesterday who's very heavily involved in Goodreads and Amazon ads. And what he has said is that if you can get on third-party media, meaning somebody else's stage, like Nicole is sharing here, and a radio show like I have as well, and guest blog features and things like that, then the AI mechanism can work in your favor. And so it'll start to find you even more through those AI searches. So as long as those websites are enabled for that. So third-party media outlets are where you should go. So I can help you with that. Just reach out to me.
I will. Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Ah, look at that. That's what you're in the room for. This is why it's so important to get A, in the room, and B, raise your hand, get on the mic. And if anybody else has a question, looks like we got Brian here. So Brian, let me bring you up if I can find where that screen is flashing to. It's going everywhere. Go ahead and unmute, sir. And you had a question for Mary, is that correct?
I did, and actually a comment and suggestion as an author. I've been blessed to author numerous books.
Well, you got muted. Go ahead and unmute. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. I've been blessed to author numerous books, and I am a part of Mary's group and going to be doing a chapter in her book in the anthology. And I just released a book, and and after going through this process about 10 times, probably the best thing that I've done, which I would have done in my first couple books, but for some reason didn't know about it, or maybe it wasn't a big thing. And Mary was there for it. I did a pre-launch Zoom, and we had great attendance. And it gives you it was just 45 minutes long. I didn't make it too long, but it was about 30 minutes of talking about the book, telling people what they'll gain from it, some stories, and then about 15 minutes of Q&A. And also, while you're out there, while you're marketing your book, create a page where you can get pre-orders. So we did, it was only about a month. I wish it was longer, pre-orders. And we've got probably over 40 pre-orders. And we didn't want to do it long enough because we were trying to see if we could create a bestseller. So then we asked the people during the book launch if they would purchase a book, because I guess the way Amazon works, you have to have so many books bought in a certain time. And we created a bestseller, but I thought the key was, thank you, the key was really getting those pre-orders that you could put in whenever you want them. So we were putting them in after the 45-minute Zoom, and then creating the things everybody talked about here, creating that momentum, creating that excitement, creating that opportunity to be a part of this book launch. We had a good crowd there then that bought the book, and then asking them to share. The other thing it does is it gives you email addresses that allows you then to send out personal thank yous, and then maybe a couple weeks after, ask them to leave to leave a response on Amazon to say a little something about your book, which really helps. So those are just my tips. Mary was there for it. It was short, I believe short. I don't know, Mary, I don't think it was too long. Short and sweet, and gave people an opportunity to chime in, but it made the book extremely successful. And created a networking opportunity for everybody.
Yeah. It
I
was
love
great.
that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Brian. Make sure everybody connects with you and you share your information again, folks. Go into the chat and get those free gifts. If you're in the Zoom room, you got to be here in the Zoom room to get the giveaways, to get the gifts. Come into the Zoom room, register. The links are in there. I'll drop those links in there again. And I did share people's connection information through YouTube and through LinkedIn. I want everybody to connect, to keep sharing. No, thank you, Alicia. Sure. Welcome. There's some people that just entered the room. I love that. We are having the speaker panel Q&A. So let me get back to where we are. It looks like Lil was able to join this again. So let me ask her a question in case she just needs to step out again. Because
Well, you got me. I'm staying.
are you? I love it. But here, because you work on the stage, you work with authors, so you're working with people, speakers, you're just working with the world. So you found one thing, you niched it down, and now it gives you the ability to expand. Is there like a ritual or something that people have to do when they write? I mean, you're spelling it out. That's kind of like ritualistic in itself, and not in a bad way. It's a good way to develop habits. But is there like a real ridiculous one that maybe you developed or you heard that people do, or just share a ritual that helps people really get with it and stick with it and get the word out?
Well, the tinfoil hat and surrounding yourself with candles, it's always good. No, it's not, I don't think that's a ritual exactly. I mean, when you say ritual, I think of crazy shit. I don't know what happens. Look, getting the word out, it's like people think the writing a book is this. I know Mary's going to agree with me. I wrote my book. The world is coming. The world is not coming. The world isn't coming if you get with a major publisher. Newsflash, 19 out of 20 of those books don't sell more than 300 copies. A very sad statistic. They're gamblers. They might as well go to the casino. That's what they are. Traditional publishers know that Barack Obama is going to sell 1 million copies if he spits on the page, and they don't care, right? So they find other people they think, well, maybe that'll work. That might happen. And a lot of times it doesn't. They don't do a lot of work for you. They don't do a lot of the marketing. They tell you go on book tours and they maybe set you up with a few of them and then tell you go figure it out for yourself. A lot of that isn't what people think. The job isn't writing the book. That's easy. Geez, you can talk into a computer and before you know it, you got a book. The job is selling yourself in the book. And if you're not selling yourself along with that book, it is likely you're not going to be, that book's going to be of no use to you. Most and almost all of our clients are not concerned about selling books. They're concerned about selling who they are, what they do, how to elevate who they are and what they do. Why should I come to you for whatever it is I do? And if you can buy a book for $5 and throw it in every swag bag for $500, there's 100 people who have a book they're never going to throw away, and they're going to call you. One of them will call you at 5,000 or 10,000. Pretty good investment. Who wouldn't spend $500 to make 5,000? Any one of us would do that right now. If I told you if you give me $500 today, tomorrow I'll send you $5,000. Every one of you would give me $500 right now. And that's the thing. That's what you do. You want the book to be a tool. You want to market yourself. The ritual of writing, or everyone has a different way of writing or have a way of, you know, getting that to happen for themselves. Some people are great in the morning. Some are great at night. Write when it's comfortable. If you sit in a chair that's too comfortable, do whatever you need to do to make yourself happy and comfortable to get the book written, or hire someone like us to do it for you, to do it with you, to work on it with you, to make sure it's a really good book. Go through. It's worth spending money on professionals. Uh, this is going to be a better book when you hand it out and give it away. It's going to be a book they really want to actually read. So, I mean, I hope that kind of answers what you're asking, but tell me if I'm still not there. I don't know.
No, it does. And the reason I ask you is because not only do you have this great sense of humor and you can understand, but when you work with people, I mean, even sometimes getting speakers in the room or getting speakers together is really like chasing cats, people are here, they show up on time, and those people are always going to show up the same time. And that's kind of working with, like, yes, I was the tech nerd, I was in the drama club, the techie, all that fun stuff. So there's something, to be said about that. But the truth is what you're sharing right now. The truth is no matter whether you put your tinfoil hat on and have all the candles, it's a habit. And if you look at a ritual more as what is your daily habit to put some time down to write? Even comedians I take time in the morning or after the show, and they're not really organizational people or really strategic people. Most of them not. Jerry Seinfeld, as you hear him, there's other people. You see Joe Rogan. Those people actually write. So it's something that we have to do and develop a great habit. And I think that's what's important. And saying the truth and telling people this is what it really looks like. I'm not going to sell you a bill of goods. I'm going to actually tell you what really happens and what you can expect. And this is why Plot Twist happens. It was in conversations with clients and other people, to friends of mine that had got suckered into writing a book that never got edited. There was no marketing. They were told the reason they were part of that anthology was the majority of it was going to get marketed. And they did not, and that was unfortunate. So they did not continue the journey, and it can be a burnout. I know for me, I want to tell you guys, and when I sent this is my first chapter, I'm in an anthology. And ask Agape, she's heard me for years. Yeah, I'm writing some. I think I'm okay. I'll pass it up. I love this stage. I just want to hear the story. I want to watch the movie. I want to see the drama. I want to feel it. I want to read a good book, but I don't want to do it myself. I was so ready to give up the chapter I wrote. I put the entire body of the email into the subject line when I sent it to Mary and I didn't notice it until she replied to me, and I went, darn, that's a really long subject line. I didn't know it could hold that many words. I was like, ooh, I was just ready to go release it. But those are funny things that happen. So I want to bring Kathy up. Kathy, I see you're in the room. Let me bring you up, because we're going to talk a little bit more about that marketing aspect. There are some things that people do, but there's a way that people stand out when they're marketing, and there's some unique ways that people can market and have some fun with it if they want to do the traditional and add a little bit of spice and do something a little bit different. Like, hey, I did this. This is really cool. You want to share that with everybody?
Oh yeah, and of course, I mean the sky is the limit really when it comes to what you can do for marketing and promoting. And I love what Lil was just saying too about it's not about selling the books, it's about the book selling you. And how are those ways that you can get in front of the right audience? How do you get in those right rooms with those people for the book to sell you, for them to say, hey, that person is an author and I love what she's doing, and how do we work together? And one of the ways that I've been doing it lately, because the main thing I focus on is creating anthologies. And so I've always got a team of people that I am looking at how do I assist all of them in promoting themselves in the way that works best for them as individuals and what they're up to. But one of the ways that I've been doing that lately is getting us up on billboards in Times Square. And I know Lil thinks that being a New Yorker, that's not a big deal. But for the rest of us, where this is just something we've seen on a movie, and it's like, wow, that would be so cool. That for a lot of us, that is kind of a big deal just to be in New York in that crazy space and seeing ourselves up there. And so that's one of the newer things that I've been doing.
I think it's for certain people, it's kind of romantic in a way. If you watched a lot of 80s movies and there was that kind of setting of, hey, I want to go to New York, do this trip, get my name in lights. And so it's a little, and it's different than putting just an ad out there. And there's so much that's out there that we can do that's different. And I think that's part of the journey. I love that, Kathy. And we'll circle back around and get another question for you. This is what when you're in the room, when you're having the conversation, what you get to learn, you get to know about people and what the true journey is. So you're not going to someone. I mean, I love doing what I do. About a week ago, I hosted land and leverage your TEDx talk with Frank King. Frank King, 14. He's on his 14th TEDx talk. He's written for Jay Leno for 20 years, in the business when, there was actual writers and there wasn't a lot of all that, the change. It's not just AI. We've kind of really changed and neutered the actors. There's not that fun, dynamic exchange on the stage, and there's no more of those Shakespearean Broadway actors and actresses coming into movies anymore. But that's okay. We can do it ourselves, and that's why you host a workshop, and we'll put that in there. Host a workshop, host a master class, get on the stage. But it's bringing people to the stage, and this is what I love to do, that have the true experience. So that's why I've asked Mary and Lil and Kathy to come in here and talk about the marketing, publishing side, sharing the story, writing the story, doing the interviews. There's actually this big, huge journey that goes beyond that. And why recommend people you don't really know, people that I haven't worked with? Absolutely. So connect. And Kathy's asking, Mary, you two should connect. That'd be great. That would be great. Yes. And share your stuff. So Ludi, put that in there. And I'm going to share some more stuff on there. And I want to bring Carrie up because Carrie, you got a little bit of a different aspect going on here. When people are using tools and they're building a foundation for their writing, I mean, we can take, and I'm going to take this, for example, I'll take this speaker panel, I'll take the transcript, I'll put it in the chat hopper or some type of LLM like Claude and say, hey, bestie, do the magic. Let's make this into social posts. So when you're using these tools, it gives you different advantage to your career and what you're sharing. How big can you go with the tools that you share with everybody?
I think these tools can assist in literally every aspect of the process, from creating the book, which I talked about previously, using AI to help you move that much faster. And here's what's so great about having the tools under your belt and knowing how to use it is you can open it up and use it anytime, right? You're not waiting on somebody that you hired. You're not waiting on an assistant. You're not waiting on your publisher. You can just kick up these tools and use it, and you are really empowered to own your schedule. The other thing that I want to talk about is what happens after or even as you're writing, right? The marketing aspect, getting the word out there, getting speaking gigs, getting on the podcasts, all of the marketing, right? We want to make sure that we're following up with our leads. We want to make sure that we have a lot of the assets for the book ready to go and sharing it with people appropriately along the publishing journey. And that goes into automations, right? These are more of the classic, hey, make sure you follow up, email, text, call people, making sure that your contracts are in place and that there's a very simple way, like a one-click way to send out your speaker contracts, whatever, what have you, right? Setting up your bookstore so that it's not just Amazon, but you have it on your CRMs. So it's just across the board. These tools are so helpful. And what I really encourage is for everybody to understand the tools and know how to use it, get coached a little bit in the tools and how they work, because something that's so important is this process of build, refine, and iterate. Let's say that you built a landing page to collect leads for your book, or interested people who are, wanting to follow, that you want to follow up with, right? What is the messaging on that landing page? Today, it could be your book preview. Tomorrow, it could be something about your book. The next day, it could be, here's a little chapter that I want to share, right? As you're maturing along the book and how you talk about the book and how you're putting your story out there, you will want to build, refine, and iterate on your messaging. And so it's super important that everybody knows a little bit about how the tech works so that they can tweak things as they go along. This is also something that I help with. So
I love that. And that you're talking about, remember that you've got to train not only you how to work with the new tech, but you've got to train your tech. You can't just throw it out there. And that's why when you go online and you're like, hey, I can't get the virtual assistant to answer my question, it keeps popping, it keeps saying, hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? And you say what you want, like, hey, I want a human, and you keep going in circles, it goes crazy. But when you train the tech and when you train on the check with somebody that understands what they're doing and knows how to do this and are passionate about what they do, because you've got a ton of experience. And I love that when we've had our first conversation, what you have, what type of experience that you have in this. So, and I want to share that if you would elaborate, because a lot of people don't know, and I don't usually do this on the panel, but I think it's so important when you're not just selling something like, hey, this is cool, I want you to get Zoom, or hey, go on the LinkedIn platform and I'm going to sell you something to integrate. You actually understand the tech. So can you share a little bit more about that background and experience?
Yeah, thanks, Nicole, for giving me that opportunity. I have over a decade of experience in tech. I have my PhD in AI from Stanford. Then I did my postdoc at Berkeley. And for 4 years, I was an applied scientist at a big tech company. So, this experience has really helped me figure out, hey, what are the tech that's out there? What are the tools that you will need? And also this very, very important process of build, refine, and iterate. It's not a one and done process. You don't have somebody come in, set it up for you, and then you use it, right? You're continually iterating on it to figure out, hey, what is the right messaging? What should I be putting on my website? I need to add a page here or there, right? It's a process. And that process, that growth, right? It's so important that your tech grows with you as you change your offers, as you change how you put yourself out there in the world. And yeah, I started my business around 6 months ago. So my business is still pretty new. This is where my passion is. It's really about working with you, alongside of you, coaching you, helping you feel empowered about your tech, to help you, I'll set some things up for you, but also I will actually work with you to teach you so that you can take over on different aspects as needed, and help you grow your business and help you become that best-selling author that you want to be.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And it's so important. I mean, hey guys, I was born in Silicon Valley, right? We had to program the MS-DOS to get it to do anything, and I worked with a few things. I don't have the experience that Carrie has, but I do know enough that it's so easy to break down the system, and or buy something that looks really cool that other people are using. We have no idea. So why pay for something that's going to sit on the shelf? It's very important, if you're going to put the money and the time in, that you utilize it to get seen, to get heard, to, utilize the stage and utilize, hey, maybe it's part of your book signing tour. You're doing real, you're doing live, you're doing in person. What can you do to get the word out? Get on some podcasts that work with you. Don't just get on anything and everything. Understand, is that going to move your message, and are they going to support you? So Beth Ann, you had a question. I want to bring you up.
I loved what she was saying, and for someone who's not tech, I am not tech, so hearing that somebody has got that experience means a lot when you're thinking about how to market something over both sides of the world, and how I can market other books that I'm going to be in, my own book, and obviously as a student of Dr. Forbes Riley, which I'm also promoting as well. So there's a mixture so that I can combine the skills that I've got. But I don't have some of the patience and tolerance I know that I need to have with AI.
And
I am a little bit fearful. Not fearful, it's just I'm frustrated because I don't have that tolerance now that I used to have because of various things.
Well, thank you for sharing that honestly. And I love that. Here's the thing, and I'm going to go to Olga. I'm going to go to you next. Here's the thing, guys. It's a DIY culture. That doesn't mean we have to do everything. And if you don't let that go, and delegate to other people's strengths and try to do everything yourself. You'll never get it done. You'll never put it out there, and it causes some type of procrastination. We should be multifunctional and not necessarily multitasking at all times, although we kind of are right now because we're doing the thing. We're live in the Zoom room and we are live online. So we've got about another 30 minutes that will be online. And Olga, I'm going to come to you next here. And I want to share this. This is the next question, and then we'll go next to a Colleen here. Let's see, what question do I have for you? What's that kind of plot twist that's next for you in your story? Because you already had the journey. You came to this country. You just integrated and you shared your passion, your creativity with people, not only in your life, your lifestyle, and your business, but in your book. What's that next kind of twist for you that you think people should know more about the story and the journey that you were on?
There's a no destination point. There is every finishing is a start. There's something starting all the time. And now I am writing another book, and it is not about my life because my life is it's limited, but ideas is unlimited. And I'm writing a book as a companion to my topic that I'm speaking to people, because when people keep themselves under the fear and under the image that nothing depends on them, and they succumb to outside events, and they think this is normal. It's our kind of normal now to be stressed out. It's our normal to be negative. So we can get out of that circle and we can improve our life no matter what time zone we live. And because history doesn't offer quiet time, if you just look through history. So it means we have to find our quiet zone in every time we live in. It means within you. And that's what I am writing the book about. How to be in control of your own emotions, mood, and your life, and how you can make choices, what to choose. You choose to go with a social media or whatever media and be fearful and bitch around, or you choose to be happy no matter what. And this is my purpose in life, to bring it to people, that awareness, as well as that's going to be a book as a companion that people can read and do practices. And right now, I actually very excited about my new program for the business, for business owner who has employee, and employee is just have that anxiety, AI anxiety, I'll call it. And so I'm bringing them creativity, because book writing or music or painting, this is all creativity that our human nature is offering to us. And we're using just little bitty one. So I want to encourage you to use all your talents, develop all your talents, because tomorrow is not promised. Did I answer your question, my darling?
Of course you did. No, tomorrow is not promised. And I love that, here you are in this journey. What's next? Now that you're here, it's like you want to share the creativity and you want to share that passion that you have with people and what's going to happen. So enjoy your time right now. I think that's so great. Thank you so much. I'm going to bring up Colleen, and then we'll go to Alicia. So, you know, let's bring, if I can, oh, there you are on my screen. Thank you.
Here, hello, here I am.
I know you're there. It's so great. So,
Good to be here.
so when do you think on this journey in speaking and sharing your message, has that writing that book kind of helped you hone in on what that message is that you need to share on the stage and made you more comfortable in sharing it with the audience?
Yes and no. I was already very clear in my messaging. Thank you to Tawana Lowry, who will be speaking as my telling coach. I was already very clear on my messaging, but clearly, the more times you share, and the more importantly, then the more times you share, the different ways that you share, the more ways that you share, the more different ways you share. Did that make sense? The more different ways you share, the better you get at it and the more confident you become in it. And I find that every time you share a different way, it's a little bit different information that you're sharing, a little bit different perspective, maybe. And so that's important as we're crafting that and really trying to fine tune it, is to make sure that it has a little bit different take or a little bit different shift in it. And I think that that's one of the things that Mary was golden in doing, is just helping to pull those things out that I shared in a different way. This was also part of a recording for her TV show, her radio show. So I think that when we're sharing our message, our story, we're writing it, we're doing it on podcasts, we're doing it in our captions and graphics that we share on social media, we're doing it when we get on summits, we're doing it when we get in individual rooms, we're doing it in networking. And every approach, every angle helps to bring the story for full circle and helps it to resonate with more people. And so absolutely, in this process, that is accomplished more and more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's just so many ways that you can get out there and brand yourself and share your story. And you start to hone it in the more you do it to that particular audience, because it lands a little bit different each stage that you're on. And then you grow that know, like, and trust with people. They get to know your message, they get to know your mess, right? A little bit, but have fun with it. You're sharing the story, you're doing the thing. What can you do now? And share that. I think that's the great thing
Well,
about
and I
that.
think the thing is that, I know this is going to be a huge surprise for all of you, but I'm no spring chicken. So I have 37 years of entrepreneurial experience to combine in a story. And so clearly there are a lot of different avenues. I could probably honestly write the entire book or multiples, but just choosing to be in Mary's anthology is a great start for me. But really, that's why I say about my businesses, sometimes I'll say business number 6, business number 8, because this is my 9th business. And so a lot of times I've had people say, well, you didn't tell us what they were called. I'm like, well, they all have different names. They were all different businesses, but I mean, I could count and figure it out and tell you specifically pertaining to that story. You hear a lot about Chicken Lips. I also had Heart and Home scrapbooking. I also had Front Porch Whimsy. I also had Repeatables. I also had Character Kids. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I had Dream Catchers, all these different things. But there are lessons learned that brought me where I am now in my entrepreneurial journey that serve as the foundation. And those are the things that we want to address in a professional way and share, while also sharing the fun fact that I am actually the worst employee I ever had. I am the worst employee I ever had. Fired myself the same shift I started. I injured myself and had to have stitches. I'm the worst. And I was late to work the very first day. So I deserve to be fired. So all along the way in building my businesses, there are funny little stories and things that help bring the message and the lesson learned home and help build the foundation. And I think we all have that in our story. It's just a matter of finding the way that we can share that and bring it home to the lesson learned or the solution that we're now providing. And so, yes, absolutely, sitting down and doing this put that a little more in perspective, but also made the world go round so that we're having a different viewpoint of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, have a different viewpoint, and it's the journey when we start sharing our message and we get on stage and we engage with one another on lives, on podcast, interactively, and connect. We can absolutely build that trust in there, and what's going on with people, and they get to know us. They get to be part of our lives and connect with us just a little bit more, and that's so good. So let's see. Let me bring up Alicia right here. There you are on my screen. Thank you so much. Okay. Did as far as speaking and sharing your journey, your book, your services in business, did writing the book, does it make you feel like you're a better speaker, better business person? You're able to hold workshops in a better space and format to the audience and offer connection for your services?
I love this question because I would say yes. It enhances what I do and how I communicate effectively. I am the doctoral candidate at the moment, and so not only am I writing for my doctorate, but I'm also writing for pleasure and business. And it means pleasure and business when it comes to writing, it's synonymous. So yes, I would say yes.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's made you a better person. And we have talked about also when you're doing your workshops and you were starting to do that, and how great it kind of made you feel because you're able to share that message, right? There's so many ways that you can share that on stage, and what a great journey. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So while I have you here, is there something that you want people to know about your book or about your talk that's coming up?
Well, I wanted to share that what the thrust behind my chapter in the Economy Creators Faith, Vision, and Organizational Excellence is to unveil a AI application that I just developed, partially for my doctorate, but mostly to bring it to market. It's human-centric because most AI tools are now built for agility, for productivity, for rapidity. This one is built basically for human workplace relationship dynamics in order to lower the high cost of turnover, and demonstrate through our employees, stakeholders, and customers that you are valued in our organization as a decision maker. So any decision maker who feels they need to communicate this more effectively, this tool, this system, it's called the Organizational Excellence Model System, is built for you. And basically, it's simple to use. I love to demonstrate it when I speak with the decision maker who may contact me. My QR code is right there. But the whole thing is we need to recognize as business owners, as business leaders, we have a responsibility to our customers, to our stakeholders, to our employees to create that environment where they feel authentically appreciated, valued, and respected so they can do their job and stay with the company. And that's my whole message behind that.
I love that. Thank you. Yes, yes. You need to matter. But when people know that you're connecting, we've gone away from that culture in any department in any corporate America, from the connection and from understanding where we are, what we were good at, doing a job well done, and then we started working on everything else but anything that mattered in our business and doing a good job. And that separates us even more, and we need to be rewarded for that in a sense, right? So Agape, let me bring you up here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so let me bring you up here, and the question I have for you, friend, what would the title, I know, right? Da da da. It's a zinger. What would the title of your life chapter be right now? And you don't have to commit to having it forever. You can always change it. But What would the title of your chapter be right now? Maybe the chapter in life with what you've learned in your journey, being on the stage, being a speaker, the executive director of confronting domestic violence, and then writing that story and putting it in print so everybody gets to see it.
That chapter would be Be Your Incredible Self. Yes, that's what it would be. I would have to say, and I know it sounds familiar to you and only you, Nicole. I very much so oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I need to find her to say her name right and make sure I don't chop it up. I think it was Olga. Was it Olga? When she was up here talking about, understanding your emotions, right? So for me and the post-traumatic growth, the part of being your incredible self is being able to identify your triggers, knowing where they reside in your body so that you can intercept your reaction and have a much more level-headed response. Once you're able to identify where those triggers lie, you have emotional control and you are in your highest state of authority at that moment to, make a conscious decision on how you want the outcome to end up. So yeah, just showing up and being the best that you can be for the reason you're showing up.
That's just it. You gotta be your incredible self, and that's you who you are right now, right? Where are you showing up, and how are you showing up right now? Thank you so much for that. Yes, absolutely. So let me bring back around because we are getting down to the final minute here. We have Mary Ferris coming up. She's actually going to share a little bit about her message and what she does in the author economy. And you guys can see this online as well. Then we're going to Carrie Wu today, and we've got Joel Solomon next, and after that. So some great people. Carrie's going to teach about the author's tech engine, which is great. And Joel Solomon's going to share about his book on how to create money miracles. And a person to talk about it's not just the whole kumbaya. We are talking about a financial guy who understands business and how to create those miracles in your life, in your business, and tell your story. So that's awesome. Does anybody have any questions that you want to come in, you want to ask from the panel that's here, or we can go into more of, yes, of course. Thanks, Mary. Some definite questions. Obviously, I've got 1,000,001 questions that I'm going to ask, but does anybody else have any questions right now? And we can keep going. All right. I did see, let's see, Sarah Fernandez, and I can't find the message now, but I did see her pop into the YouTube coming off of Colleen's page. I think she was giving you a thumbs up, kind of kudos, awesome little thing there. So yes, we've got some engagement in there. That's always good. And we should live for now. There was another message that came through. Let's see. So let me bring up Lil here and ask another kind of publishing question for you. Where did I go? So when people are getting into their journey of writing and you're doing the interview, right? You're going back into the interview process of what are you looking for people to get in the book that's going to sell versus I got to share this message as the author coming to you. How does that kind of change the dynamic for people to get people to actually pick up the book and want to read your story?
Title, for starters, cover design. Believe it or not, we do judge a book by its cover. We have a client right now who's probably one of the best writers I've ever worked with on her own. She's just brilliant, and she's written a life story, but it's quite interesting. She went from complete drug addict drunk to family therapy. She's a therapist. She's a psychologist, and she's young but she wants to call her book Push, which is really cool because it makes sense if you read the first chapter, but it doesn't tell me what the book's about. So we're working on how do we make you want to read that, right? Your back cover copy, your description of the book is essential. We have to know what it's about, and people will look at that. They'll read it. Keywords to make them want to read the thing. So that is part of it. People use AI. No offense to the AI people, your cover's going to not be great, and it could be someone else's work. It's possible. It could be somebody's artwork you stole. It's not necessarily, but get somebody to do that. But as far as being compelling, you have to remember that years ago we used to put the acknowledgments in the front of a book, right? Because there wasn't a look inside. But a lot of people, or that Audible thing now, where they read you a little bit, don't do that. Put your acknowledgments at the back, put everything, get something compelling that if somebody is interested enough in the cover, the title, the description, they go, oh, this sounds like something for me. I might be cool. They might bother to do the look inside or do the little, read to you, look inside. So that get them engaged immediately. Get something going right away that says, oh, this is exciting. You've got to start right from the jump. And it's hard. Novels, really hard with novels, especially. Sometimes you read, my favorite novel, always will be, has always been, is The Razor's Edge. It's written by William Somerset Maugham many years ago. I was about 14 when my father threw it at me and said, if you can wade through the first 50 pages, this will change your life. And he was right. Everything I've ever done has been probably based on what that book said to me. So it's really getting people engaged right away. And today you have to do that immediately because they can see what you're looking, can see those first couple of pages. And yeah, just be exciting right from the get. I think that's a hard thing to do, but if you got the right publisher, you got the right people, the right design team, they're going to help you do those things. You can't do it on your own if it's not your thing. If you're a graphic designer, it's your thing, great. But I'm not. I have three of them. God forbid I do it. You'd be really stuck. No, I will say though, I have a pretty good idea. I have a pretty good sense of art. I've been directing the art of websites and things for years, but I need that person who can do the work and really say, well, this is what it should look like. And I think that's an imperative thing. Um, you're going to be out speaking about your book. We haven't talked a lot about that, and you need to know that everything in that book is something you're going to want to say. So if the first thing out of the gate is the way you speak and the way when you go in front of an audience, and hopefully you get a speaking coach to show you how to do. I teach acting at my theater. I'm on the board of my theater. I direct theater. I write plays. I run a playwriting festival that we're in the middle of right now. Those things get you on stages. You need to talk to people who can do that. And your book needs to reflect that you're going to be exciting when they meet you, that you're going to be exciting when they hear from you when you step on a stage. You got to do it right away. It's got to real come at them full blast.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Agape, we'll get right to you. It's so important when you're saying that if you're going to tell a story, you want to tell a story or share an instance in your book, it's going to be something you're going to have to tell 100 million times. So do you want to keep telling that, or you're going to just be like, oh my God, I can't believe you asked me that? That's what people love about you. They want to hear that. And yes, share that with the world and be engaging with it. What kind of tips do you want to give people? Do you want to give them a happy ending, or here's a lesson that I learned? Share that on the stage and be able to talk about that, because people want to hear that story. That's where they relate to you. And if you're talking about it, are you going to want to share that book afterwards and say, hey, hey, by the way, I'm a speaker today, and here's my story. Oh, and by the way, I wrote a book. So you guys can find that here. And people share that at Lunch and Learns. They share it in networking events. Share it with people. Maybe you're giving them a free chapter, but you want them to relate that to what you're talking about. If it's about your business, you want to be able to have that conversation with people when they ask you questions, and don't tell them, no, that's not really how it happened. Let them take from them where they're at in the moment, what they took away, their takeaway from reading the book, or their understanding of the chapter, or understanding that conversation. So they have to be synergetic. So that's absolutely true. So
You have to be authentic and vulnerable. If you're not willing to be those two things, don't write a book.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Agape, you have a question. Is it for Lil? I'll bring you up then.
Yes, it is for Lil.
Yeah, come on up. Come on down.
All right. So Nicole can vouch for what I'm about to say. I have toned down over the past 3, 4 years because I genuinely show up animated all the time. I have such high energy. It doesn't matter the topic. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is. I'm told that it's 10 o'clock energy no matter what time it is. And it's an energy that, and I don't drink coffee. But it's an energy that will more times than not, like it's too much. People will exit opposed to be like, drawn. So where is the median? How do you talk to people to find that middle ground to be what you're saying and versus what I'm sharing and probably exhibiting at the moment?
I have been in the theater world since I'm literally 13 years of age. I worked in a professional theater at 16, started my first company at 19, been teaching acting my whole life. There is a great deal of acting in speaking. It's not the same. It's not the same as getting on stage, but it is. The more you know your subject, the more you know what you're going to say without saying exactly the same thing every time. I have a speech I do that could be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 15. At the end of it, you will likely be crying, no matter whether it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 15, right? But I know what I'm going to say and how I'm going to present it. Big thing you need to learn as we teach in acting. It's called the power of the pause. When you take a pause, people stop and wait to see what you're going to say next. It gives them, they lean in. When you stop and you take a breath, the next thing you say is going to be important, and they know it, right? And that story, I'll take too long to do tape. That story, when I say the one thing that I say that makes them cry, people go, oh, because I stop before I say it, right? So I think slow down, take a breath now and again, right? Practice it in front of some people who know what you should do. Find somebody in the audience to look at when you're looking at it on the screen. Find a way to engage. It's hard to do it on Zoom, right? But on the stage, you can find 2 or 3 people in the audience that you want to look towards. Look to them, look to them, look back to the middle, walk and then talk and then walk. Do not do all of that at once unless you absolutely have to. People who pace or rock while they're speaking, you lose them immediately. Find a spot, say what you have to say, take a step, say the next thing. Look at the audience, take a step, take a breath, take a step. If you're pacing, or that's because you really want to say something energetic, then you got to move across the stage for a minute. Stop again. You can learn to control your energy. You just need to know how. And most of that is education. Most of it, I do it every single night. I had to tell you, you're rocking. I can't. I feel like I'm on the Titanic. I've got actors, brand new actors, do this the whole time, and you're seasick. But I can watch them. Right. That's one of the first things we teach them to do. Not to turn their back on the audience. How to engage. It's the same thing as being in play. Got it?
Yep, got it.
Cool.
All
Question?
right. You got some great tips there. There we go. Giving it away right here in the Zoom room, you guys. And check out the sponsors. So Agape put in there for Confronting Domestic Violence, the golf tournament is coming up live and in person. And I do see Sarah Fernandez. She loves everything Lil is sharing. And her question is, Lil, let me bring you back up. Is it harder today to write a book because of self-publishing, or is it because people's span of attention is lower, or what?
Is it harder to do what? Do what now?
Oh, so her question is it harder today to write a book because
Yeah.
of self-publishing? Everybody's trying to DIY. Step away from that, I would say. Or uh, or is it because people's span of attention is lowering? Are they just using span of attention because they just procrastinate as an excuse, I would say. But what would you say? Is it span of attention or DIY?
That's a really hard question to answer. I would say, is it harder to write a book that way? I don't think it's a matter of that. I think our span of attention is a mess. We are. I watched a thing yesterday about a young guy, he's probably 25, talking about all his friends are getting together to talk about the smartphone is destroying their lives. It really is. They don't go out and do anything. They don't go to a bar and hang out or go to a ball game. They're on their freaking phones. So I think what happens is we're in the middle of writing, right? Okay, I'm going to write from 10 o'clock in the morning to 11. I'm going to write at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And then the phone goes off. And now you take it out of the moment. I used to take a pencil and pad and go down to the coffee shop in front of the coffee shop in town. I had like an overhang. I could sit out there on a little bench and I would write with a pencil and yellow pen. And I will tell you, even there, because I know everybody, right? So as I'm sitting, somebody would go, "Hey, Lil, do you want another cup of coffee?" Back to the thing. "Hey, Lil, how's it going? What are you doing?" People would stop and talk to me. That's great. Love you. But I'm in the middle of writing. So you got to figure out. And I'm a person, you can put me in the middle of Times Square with a laptop. I'm going to just write. Nothing distracts me that's me, though. I'm doing it since I'm a kid. You have to put the distractions away. You have doing it yourself. Yeah, you're doing a book yourself. I don't know where DIY comes in, but there's a lot of people writing books, so you have a lot more competition. People can write the worst book in the world and publish it badly on their own.
Well,
There's
that's
millions
what I think.
as we speak. 20 more bad books just went onto Amazon, literally.
But you're writing books nobody's going to read. You're writing books that you're not marketing. You're not talking about it. You're not getting on a podcast. Nobody really knows that you exist. But you don't have somebody telling you honestly, maybe you need to edit some of the words. So there's so much going on because I enjoy reading books, and it's like some of these books I would never read, and I'm sure you see the worst of it because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. Are you sure you want to publish that? But so Sarah's saying, yeah, she meant it was to clarify the span of attention on the readers. Do you think that it's harder that I see a lot more people coming back to books? That's why we have a full room here and a full
Yep.
stage. But for
It's
the
a book.
audience's attention.
You ever watch a movie and about 15 minutes in, you're like doing something else?
Yeah.
It's boring. It's not catching your attention. It's like anything else. Good books are good books. Bad books are not. You have to figure out a way to keep their attention, and that's on the writer. But I think people will pay attention to anything if it's well written, if it's engaging. And the next thing, the young lady with Push, I think people are going to read that. They're going to eat it up. What's the next thing? I had a book that I wasn't going to publish. It's called Middleman Blues and One Hell of a Life. If you want to read something that makes Forrest Gump come to life for you, this guy, it's his life story. And I couldn't stop reading it. I mean, it just kept moving and moving. And he didn't want to publish it at first because he's had an interesting life. He wanted to leave it as a legacy for his kids. And now he's decided to publish it. But it is possibly one of the best books I've ever read. And I've read thousands of them, every day, right? So it's just engaging. And this guy, this weird life, and he's really had a very average life, the average American life. But he's done so many incredible things, and you keep waiting to see what the next thing's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and something else happens. It's you have to engage people on stages and plays. I write plays, and the end of Act One. If you leave after the end of Act One, I give up. Because every time I write a play, I leave you in a spot where you go, what is going to happen next? I can't leave. I had an older woman, there was some cursing in the play, and it was a little bit, some things, and she said, my actor at the end said, she said, well, I didn't like the cursing, and it was not a lot. And he said, well, why did you stay? Why did you stay for the second act? And she went, I wanted to see what was going to happen.
Drew you in. That's just the thing. Can you
But
get
you have
into
to do
that
that.
plot twist?
Keep them moving, dialogue, change the stories, pattern interrupt, do stuff that gets them to think and think and think and think. I got to keep reading this. Oh, I got to keep reading this. What's next?
I love that. And I think Beth Ann has a question, but I want to say my favorite book, and you guys put this in the chat. If you are live, comment. If you're watching live, if you're in the Zoom room, put in the chat. What is your favorite book or book that was most intriguing to you that you read? And then Beth Ann has a question for you, Lil. Mine that comes to mind right now is A Child Called It. I wouldn't read it if you're squeamish. It's a true life story about his kid and how he was treated by his parents because they kept him in the basement. But I read that when I was working in juvenile hall. I was a probation person, and I was tasked as a juvenile institutional officer and read that book. And we did share it with some of the kids in there about their lives, so they had something to relate to. But put in the chat what you like. A Boy Named Dave, A Child Called It. Yep. So, so Beth Ann, you have a question or a comment?
I loved what Lil was saying, and I think that is such a joy to be here when I've been writing for some while now, and I'm glad I've taken the time, as Lil just said, to think about my book and the books that I want to bring out now, rather than just rush. Lots of people were asking me to do it, and I also liked what she said. I wrote a lot during COVID. My mum died just before COVID, and I've read for years. I spent my life reading Catherine Cookson, but I also thought about when I was doing my Queen's Guide, which was many years ago, I'm in my 60s, and how I wrote a summary for Jean Plaidy book, and how a local actress here, Rachel Thomas, sent me back to my house and said, go back home, rewrite it, and then come back, and then it can be published, which I did. And I look back and think, this is where I need to be now. So thank you for inviting me, Nicole, because I'm really enjoying this.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. All right. We are getting ready to close off the live. Yes. The live is closing down. Welcome to those who just stepped in. We are going to get ready for our next speaker, Mary Ferris. But before we do that, I want to say thank you. Bye-bye. Support those sponsors, support those who are supporting this event, and of course, the wonderful speakers that are getting on the stage. So come in the room because we're going to shut down. So the information's in there. I love that. So I just want to read some of these books. Boy Named Dave, a sequel to A Child Call It. Yep, that's true. My Lobotomy and Lil put the book she wrote that she was most proud of is Warm Bodies, Morgan, Siri, 1978. It's a
City, Morgan City. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
I can't spell.
That's okay. So
Don't read it if you
that's
don't
okay.
like
We're
books on rape and
human.
murder.
That's you. We're human. I got like a good juicy story too. So that's it. So we're gonna turn this off in a minute. Check out Confronting Domestic Violence is having their golf event coming live, and that information's in there. I do want to say mention digital speaker. So those people who keep coming to me and say, hey, Nicole, I want to get paid to speak. Go get the digital speaker app. There are some people that just came in the last week or so after I share that and that I'm speaking to right now that are getting booked. You can get that 7-day free trial, and in that trial, you do get the gig, so you can sign up. And the person booked a gig in the 7-day free trial. It gives you the ability to integrate with it. It is tech oriented, but you get to go to a live event. You get to show up on stage. They're going to pay you. There's virtual events, there's live events, but it gives you the opportunity to fill out an application in 5 minutes versus an hour and a half. So if you want a speaker agent that you don't have to pay $1 million to, but you need to apply and you want somebody to feed you the gigs, they're going to feed you them all day. So check that out, you guys, right now. Check out all the great gifts, all the information. You got to get in the Zoom room to get the free gifts from the speakers, and you can always upgrade to VIP, and you get all the great VIP gifts as well. So I want to thank that, and Beth put Catherine Cookson, Jean Plaidy books. Thornburg's. I think I watched that movie when I was young. I think I know what you're talking about. But thanks. Say goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We are so glad you're here.